Well, it seems I am now live. And today we are going to be discussing Soundly and his images of Lake Pontchartrain. Again, except this time it's not going to be the ones that everyone seems to be hell-bent on arguing over. It's going to be some of these other images that he's put up there. Hi Sandra, you all right? What's happened? What with what? Sorry. Oh, by the way, you know the script, Sandra. If any of the trolls come in, instant ban. You know who they are. Just get the ban hammer out, block them, get rid of them. Oh, this is going to be awesome, guys. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Because I'm just going to wait for a few more people to come in because I want a few people to. Hi, Sandra. You can hear me? Can you hear me? It wouldn't load. Oh, right. Okay. Right. It might just be that I'm presenting just to you, Sandra, because there is quite a lot of flat Earth debates going on right now. I think we've got Poncho Pete. We have I'm Rick. He's doing one. We've got Jamie Brown Live, who's doing one. So I'm not too sure exactly how many people I'm actually going to get in. I suppose that isn't really the issue. The issue is the message. So as long as the message gets put out there, I'm not really too fussed how many people are watching. But simple fact is that Soundly's ridden the crest of a wave for a few months now, and he's been saying that, oh yes, I've got this flat Earth proof, ball Earth proof, and realistically, the evidence has been there all along from the day that he's first started putting the images up that proves that we actually live on a flat plane and not a ball Earth. And I'm going to be presenting that evidence in just a couple of minutes' time. So this is going to be, it really is the final nail in the coffin for Soundly, I'm afraid. It's not that I'm trying to purposely debunk him. It's just that the evidence takes you that way. When the evidence shows you that you're living on a flat plane and he's saying that you're living on a ball, somewhere along the line you've got to address that situation, and this is where it's all going to come down to right now. Hi, journalism, steer sergeant, disinfo agents. Okay, that's a name and a half. Are you on the ball or are you a flat, or are you here just to see what's going on? Anyway, we've got 4 in chat now. That's good. 4's in chat. That's not too bad. I might start presenting now, actually, because I do tend to get bored pretty quickly, just hanging around and waiting, especially when I've got this evidence that I need to present. So, just bear with me, and I shall present. Okay, right. Hopefully, give us a thumbs up or let me know, Sandra, if I am presenting, please. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I am presenting now. That's good. Right. Okay. So, Soundly's images, the infamous images. Everybody's been hell bent on saying this is curvature. And then everybody else has been saying, no, this is just refraction. And this is what happens when you're looking over water. And for whatever's going on in this location, this is what you tend to see. I don't know why it always seems to happen with things that are in a straight line. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't look how you'd expect anything else that you've ever seen in your life to look. But in any event, he's uploaded these to his Google Drive. This is image number 4118. Okay, if we go back a couple, just to get an idea of his location, 4105, he was on the right-hand side of the pylons. And then when he got to 4116, he's moved around a bit and he's gone on to the left-hand side of the pylons and he's been looking down this way. I've triangulated this position from where he was before, and he's actually agreed that this is where he was filming his location from. I'll show you that in a moment, but the point is I'm just trying to walk you through what he was doing on that day. So he was on this side at one point, then he moved to this side of the pylons and he started filming down there, and he gets some apparent curvature on his images, and this is what everyone's been up in arms about. So we keep scrolling through him, going to 4118 now. Okay, he's in the same location, he's not moved. And then we get to 4143. Okay, so this is another 20 odd images further down the line. But basically he's looking across at the bridge that goes across Lake Pontchartrain. Now then, I want to draw your attention to the image number, which is 4143. Because if we scroll along a couple of bits further on to 4176, which is 30 images further down the line again, he's still on the left side of the pylons, right? Now, I find it incredible to believe that he's moved from one side of the pylons to the other and then back again and then back again. It seems to me that he's just taken a series of images from the same location, from this location here. So I needed to triangulate exactly where he was when he took this image here, which is 4118. So I've used pylon 3 and pylon 4, which is this one and this one, simply because I know that this is the bird's nest one, and I've already been through this with Soundly before. It's beyond question where he was, but I'll just show you so that you all know exactly where he was. This is on Google Earth. I'm going to scroll out here and I'm going to show you exactly where he was at the time when he took this image. And this was his exact location on the bridge. Soundly's already previously agreed that this is where he was. I have it on the image when I proved that he'd actually taken an image of the weather station, which is way over here. And I have him agree that this is where he was when he took the images. So it's beyond question, this is where he was, right? So going back to Soundly and his image is 4118. We go to the next one. Here we have the bridge. And if we scroll along a little bit further on, we have this image here on his Google Drive. Now, firstly, we've got over in this corner here, we've got the start of the second bridge. That's the start of the hump of the second bridge. And this is the start of the hump of the first part of the bridge. There's two humps on the bridge. So triangulating this here was pretty easy. Now, as you can see, this is a giant pylon that's just seems to be sticking up from nowhere. We also have some buildings in the background here that you can see that are on the far shore. Now then, bearing in mind that the bridge is actually 16.6 miles away. So in Soundly's own words, this bridge here, the height of this bridge that goes along, and you can see the cars driving across it. You can see the cars driving across, there's a van going across this bridge here. But at this location here, it's only 15 feet above the water level. Now he's at 16.6 miles. And I believe that his, he said he was either 20 or 40 feet above in elevation. So if I put 40 feet in, just for instance, at 16.6 miles, refracted hidden should be almost 40 feet. Okay, so on the bridge itself, where we took the this image here, you know, it should be twice the height beyond the curve. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for this tower. I wanted to know what this tower was. Now, unfortunately, which makes it trickier, and you'll have to bear with me on this, is that Google Earth doesn't show you it in 3D. So finding out the exact where the bridge rose and fall, I had to use Bing as well as Google Earth and triangulate the positions using this. In any event, this is from Google Earth, And here we have the center of the bridge. Okay, so it rises up from here and it drops to there. And you can actually see the little markers. Can you see the little markers here showing where it starts to elevate in height? And then it decelerates in height and goes down to here. And there's the center of the bridge. Anyway, I had to use Bing Maps, which is on here, to get a full idea of the bridge rising and falling. And as you can see where the shadows start to pull away from the bridge. You can see it in 3D. It rises up and then it goes down again. And then we have this little building here, which is just a little bit further away from it. So I needed to triangulate this image here and put it on the maps to find out where I should be looking for this tower. So I started off and I took a screenshot of Google Earth and I found a tower and I put a line through it. I'll show you this tower in a moment. And this is where the line dissects the bridge. So I've cropped the image out, and then going on to Bing, this is Soundly's image. There's the center of the bridge. There's this pylon in the background. So I needed to put the center of the bridge on the center of the bridge here. You can see where it rises up and falls. The start of the bridge here is the start of the bridge here. The end of the bridge is the end of the bridge here. So it all lines up perfectly. And then we had this pylon that came through there. Now, as I said, I already found a pylon in this location. It's the only pylon in that area. Believe you me, I have scoured and looked. It's the only pylon there. So I know it's this pylon that I'm looking at. And lastly, I needed to just double check. So I got a screenshot of this first one here, which is where I said that I knew the pylon was. I superimposed it over the image that I've just showed you. And then when I scroll up and I show you, this matches up with this. The center of the bridge matches up with the center of the bridge here, as you can see. And the line of sight for this pylon is smack bang where you'd expect it to be. So where is this pylon, you ask? Well, I will show you, and I'll show you the pylon itself. So as we go across the bridge here, we come up to this location here, and here we have the pylon, which you can see here, clear as day in this location. Now, there is nothing else in the location, nothing before. There's no other pylons in this area. There's no other pylons in this area. In actual fact, it's the only pylon in the area, and it's the first pylon you actually come to once you cross over this bridge. So if anyone wants to argue that point, they're more than welcome to argue that point. But I triangulated the position and noted that this was the pylon that was filmed by Soundly. Not just one image, but 4 separate images. And this pylon, which is here, I've already put the, called it pylon here. So I'm going to go to check the properties of that. And the measurements for this, 35.1 miles, 35 miles away. So from Soundly's location, he took an image of a pylon 35.1 miles away. And beyond that, he also got this shoreline. And I will show you the images, that same image there. Here we can see the shoreline here when I scroll in. As you can see, the buildings behind it. Building here, less smaller one, another square building here, and a building directly behind, slightly to the left of the actual pylon. It's really hard to identify individual buildings, although I do think I've been able to identify this building, which is here on the line of sight. So going through the line of sight, we have a building here, which is just to the left of the actual line of sight of the pylon. In any event, we know that this is the pylon. We know this is Soundly's own image. There's the bridge. We know he wasn't in the. We know he's never got his feet wet, so he had to have been on land when he took this image. Bear with me. We know he had to have been on land when he took this image. So if I scroll back here and dissect the bridge, we know he was in this location because he's taken the images of the pylons going down there before. So he looks across this bridge. There's no other pylons behind it. The first pylon that you come to is that pylon there, 35 miles away. And the shoreline behind it, which is here. Oh, let's do a measurement of that, shall we? Let's see how far. Let's see how far he saw these buildings from, shall we? Let's just have a laugh. Let's just have a laugh. Let's have a look at this. 37.48 miles. 37.48 miles. So he was seeing buildings from 38.4 miles away from this bridge here. And his images have been up there all this time. Here we have image 4155. If we go back one, this is image 4143. So there's a difference of 12 images there. So he's taken obviously some more images of this. He's zoomed in on this image, 4155. His next one is 4155, but it's the JPEG version. And then we go back to 4176, which is again showing him on the left-hand side of the pylons. So there we go. There, in all its beauty, is this pylon. There's the buildings. It's undeniable. It's his own evidence. I'm only showing it you. I just showed you where he was. You can call me anything you like. You can say I'm a liar. You can say I'm fudging the evidence. I don't care, because this part of the bridge here is starting to hump and rise here. So we know that's the second part of the bridge. This is the first part of the bridge. I've triangulated the positions using his own images to know where he took the images from. He's looking almost 37 miles away to these buildings and 35 miles away to this pylon. Now let's do that. Let's do some calculations, shall we? So let's say he's at 40 feet in viewer height, and let's go to 37 miles away to the buildings. Well, the refracted hidden should be nearly 500 feet. Without any refraction, it should be 570 feet, higher than Blackpool Tower. Now let's go to 35.1 miles to the pylon. And we are seeing 408 feet of refracted hidden, 500 feet of normal. If we drop his elevation in height to a more suitable 20 feet, it's nearly 500 refracted hidden, nearly 600 hidden. And let's go to the 37-mile one. Okay, those buildings should be 552 feet behind the curve. Now, this is his own image. You tell me that that there is not the shoreline from across Lake Pontchartrain. His own images say it. You know, I'm not lying. I'm not trying to lie, and I'm not trying to say that Soundly's frauded anything, or you know, this is simply his images, his image. Let's go. I'll just show you back. He's left-hand side of this pylon, these pylons here from image 4118. We scroll back a few further forward, 4176. So 60 images later, he's still on the left-hand side of the pylons. So we know pretty confidently he was on the left-hand side of the pylons when he took this image and when he took this image here. All we had to do was identify what this was, this tower, and what this bridge was. Unfortunately, when I triangulated it, I was able to definitively prove from his location that he's looking across the bridge at this shoreline over here, and he's looking directly through this pylon that is 35 miles away. 35 miles away. And there we have it. We don't need to look at the image here. The same image that he took on the same day when he looked across at these place marks here, when we saw this apparent curve that that people have been going on about. And what's going on here? This here, this apparent curve. He took this image probably 10 minutes before he took this next image here, and probably another 10 minutes before he took this image here. So if that's 35 miles away to that tower there, and yet he's saying that probably at 4.5, 5 miles away, you're starting, or maybe 10 miles away, you're starting to see curvature on the lake here. So we don't need to even look at this image anymore. We don't need to look at this and say he's showing us curve, because all we need to do is just go a couple of pictures further on and use his own evidence and say, did you not film this here? Did you not film this tower? Did you not film this shoreline with these buildings 37 miles away? Because this is on your Google Drive, and this is where you were filming from, and these are the images that you took from your location, your elevation at 30, 20, 40 feet, whatever you want to call it. But you're seeing these buildings here, you're seeing this. I mean, even the bridge is 16.6 miles away. This bridge where this car is passing over here, this car is passing over here, and this van is going over the top of it here, right? The lower part of the bridge is only 15 feet above sea level, only 15 feet, and it's 16.6 miles away. And look, this evidence has been there all along. We've been debating and arguing and fighting each other, saying it's not curved. It doesn't show curve. There's no curve on this lake. There is no curve on this lake. This image here has been analysed to death. And all we had to do was just go a couple of images further on. Luckily, Soundly is nothing but, if not clinical with what he likes to portray and show, but he does make his mistakes. And unfortunately for him, this is another mistake of his. There's the tower, there's the pylon, there's the buildings 37 miles away. You can all see it. Go to his Google Drive. There's, I'll put, let me copy this, copy that, and I'll put it in here for you to have a look. Or go and see it yourself. You can download it. Have a look yourself. Triangulate it yourself. Go to the images before, put your own locations in, find out where he took this image from. He wasn't on a boat when he took the image. And there's the side-on view of the bridge from his favorite location, which is just to the side of these pylons here. This is his own evidence. This is not me fudging anything. Those buildings. I wish I could see buildings. This is a beautiful image. It really is a beautiful, beautiful image, and it's been there all along for everyone to see, and we just didn't pay any attention to it. We just looked at it and skipped on by it, and just was more interested in trying to debunk this image or prove this image for curve, rather than looking at this image here and saying, well, what the hell's that? And what the hell's this? And why are we seeing this at 37 miles away? Because what are you trying to say, that the lake only curves in one direction? It's not curving in a different direction. It only curves around the pylons, or it only curves around the causeway? Because we're looking across the same lake and there is no curve here at all. Not an ounce of curve. That bridge is here. The hard horizon is there, and there's the buildings. Look at that. Unless that building would have to be 600 feet tall. This tower would have to be 900 feet tall if we lived on a ball. That's the absolute absurdity of what he's been presenting. Oh, Soundly's in here. I took that from Pier 1. Pier 1. Pier 1? Where's Pier 1, Soundly? Where are the pylons under the causeway? Hang on. I'm glad. Do you want to come on, Soundly? Do you want a link? Do you want to come in? Do you want to discuss this? Because this is your image. This here is your image. That's the pylon. Where's Pier 1? Where is Pier 1? So what are you trying to tell me, that you move around and you came back and you went back and you came back? Is this what you're trying to say? Because I don't believe you for 1 minute. Hi, Cat's Eyes. You're right. Where's Pier 1? Have you got the GPS for that? Because none of these have a GPS on. I've downloaded them and they don't have a GPS. But I'm working on the totally right assumption that you took this image here, 4118, and you also took this image here, which was 4176. So there's only like 50 images difference between these. You was a snap happy little man on that day, and yet the images in between, you're trying to say he was at a different location. And what location would put? Let's just see, shall we? Let's just go to. Let's just have a look here, shall we? So let's say you was in Pier 1. Where the hell are you saying Pier 1 is? Come on, this is hilarious now. So firstly, you was on one side of the pylons taking images that way, and then you went to this side and you took them that way, and then you moved to Pier 1, and then when you moved to Pier 1, you drove all the way back again to snap another image on the left-hand side of the pylon. Don't be an idiot or a Burke. Don't be a Burke. We know that you've taken a side-on view of this this bridge here. The only pylon in this entire vicinity, in this entire location here, in this entire location, the only pylon is this one. So even if you took the image from here or you took the image from here, you'd still be looking at the same pylon. So you don't try and lie and be a Burke about it, because I know you're just being a Burke. There's no way you drove around and went, where the hell's Pier 1? Let me see. Let's see. Pier 1. So what are you saying? Here? I don't know. Do you want to help me out? Come on, Soundly. Oh, here we go. So how do we put that in? 3004,751. What the hell? Is it 3004? 37, 3004, 37. I don't know how you do it. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. I don't think Tesco would employ no one like this. I mean, come on. Oh, this is hilarious. This is hilarious now, Soundly. If you're trying to even think about getting out of this. Copy and paste onto Google Maps. Right, this is hilarious. Right, copy to Google Maps. Right, okay. Google Maps. Paste. Let's see. Nope, not working. Soundly is such a fraud. He is a fraud, 100% fraud. I mean, that is 30. That tower is 35 miles away, and that shoreline is 37 miles away, and it's undeniable. Undeniable. I mean, let's go to. Let's just say, for instance, I don't know. Let's say he was here, shall we? Let's just put for argument's sake. let's say he took some images from one spot, the right hand side of the pylons, then he moved to the left and took some images, then he drove all the way around it. Let's say he went to here, shall we, because it has to be on this side of the bridge. So let's say he went to here, and let's say he looked and dissected the bridge here, and he looked across to this shoreline there. Well, that's still 25 miles away, and you're seeing buildings. But I don't believe that for 1 minute. I know he just sat in the same spot, click happy, because I take photographs as well. I go out and I do this stuff. I do research, and there's no way I would go here to this side of the pylons, snap an image that way, come to this side of the pylon, snap an image that way, then drive probably 15 minutes somewhere else to take some more images, and then drive all the way back down here again to get that last image, because that just wouldn't work. You're just lying there, just completely lying. As I said, you can work through his process when he was doing this. This was his 4105. He was on the right hand side of the pylons. You can see the image number up there. Then he went to 4116, so 11 images later, and he's on the left-hand side of the pylons. He's moved around a bit. And then when we scroll further on to another image of the pylon, which is 4176, again, he's on the left-hand side of the pylons. You can see he's on the left-hand side of the pylons. So it's absolutely apparent that these images, which are taken between those two images on the left-hand side of the pylon, he had to have been in the same location. Absolutely had to have been in the same location. There's no, I mean, everything triangulates anyway. The bridge, the pylon, even the buildings behind it. That building there that I've identified on, where is it? Here. Line of sight, there's the pylon. This is the line of sight, and there's the building. You can see it's quite a large, substantial building. You can see it, but unfortunately, with Google Earth and this entire location, it doesn't. When you hover over the building, it doesn't give you an elevation height. But you can see it's quite a large building. Look at the size of the shadow that it's casting compared to this building here and this building here. You can see, and it's just on the left-hand side of the central point of this pylon here. If we look just to the left-hand side, you know it's that building. There's nothing else that's in that way. You know, it's not that there. It's not this here. It has to be this building here that we're seeing. That has to be the building that we're seeing, which is this building here. In any event, that's the shoreline and that's the tower. There is no denying it. Pier 1. Go on then. Where's Pier 1? Pier 1, Lake. Pier 1, Lake Pontchartrain. Nope, can't find it. And also, I don't subscribe to your belief that you as a peer in any other location than where I'm saying you are. I am 100% confident in my assumption that you didn't maneuver to a different location and then go back to the same location after that to snap a solitary image of the pylon. I think he was in the same location. You stayed. You did a few images there, maybe as many as 100 images you took from the same location. There's no way that you snapped this image on the left-hand side of the pylon, and then a few images later you snap the left-hand side of the pylon again, and all the images that are in between, all these images here, you say you went to a different location. I don't buy that for 1 minute. No, you're talking out of your backside. You was at the same location. Don't lie. Get clown, Leon. I was talking to Soundly just before, and he said he couldn't. He was working. If anyone's got anything in chat they want to say, if somebody wants to say anything about this this image here, I mean, if we go to the lake, let's go to the lake itself and let's just see what's the narrowest point of the lake, shall we? Looking from this location, from this sort of side, we have to be on this side of the lake because the bridge is there. So anything through this location here, dissecting the bridge here, just for argument's sake. So let's go from there to there. 22 miles, 26 miles, 28 miles. Let's do it the other way around. Let's go to there. 26 miles. Right. So all these huge distances, humongous distances across this lake, and we're seeing buildings on the other side, clear as day. Buildings, pylon, side of the bridge. You're just full of shit, Soundly. Absolutely full of shit. Yeah, get the ban hammer out, guys. You know what to do. Cat's eyes, everybody. Anybody that's talking crap or any of the ball trolls that are in there, because I've had enough of listening to them waffling. They talk a load of shit. They don't add anything to the conversation except call me a liar. I'm just showing you the evidence. This is Soundly's images. This is Soundly's evidences. He put these images up. I didn't do it. Why would I need to debunk his claim it was from Pier 1? I don't need to do that. I know where he took. Yeah, I'll do you a wrench, actually, sheeps. Yeah. I don't need to debunk that he was not at the location that he says he was. I know where he was. He's taken. It's not the first time he's taken those images from the same location. I've had him on my live hangouts before talking about where his exact location was, where he takes these images from. So I know exactly where he took them from. There's no way that he went to a different location and then went back to the same location afterwards. These was a set of images that were taken in the same location. Even the evidence stacks up that it's the bridge. It stacks up where the pylon is. And anyone that denies it is just a troll or completely idiotic. Yeah, get them all banned, guys. Ban the fucking lot of them. Multi-Tom, you can be a mod. I'll let you be a mod. Dishing out a few mod privileges here, because there are some people that I enjoy speaking to and that have backed me up on other things before, so they get a mod. And yeah, I'm pretty confident that everything that I've said isn't. Did you get banned? You didn't get banned. you got modded. No, I'm pretty sure that everything that's presented here is just complete truth. He uploaded the images, he took them. This isn't a case of flat versus ball. It shouldn't be an argument. It should be, let's just look at the evidence. I mean, when you're trying to sort of work through this stuff and decide, are we actually seeing a flat earth or are we seeing a ball earth? I mean, I spend a lot of time doing videos about the peninsula of Blackpool and stuff because I've got a P900. So I'm used to doing this kind of evidence, you know, breaking down the evidence and deciding whether or not I am actually seeing what I'm seeing. So when I looked at Soundly's, I knew straight away that I had to just triangulate things, and I don't know the location, he does. And I had to figure out what he was actually showing, and I found that trying to debunk his curvature of the pylons and the bridge itself were just an impossible task, because he hasn't put obviously all his images up. He's only put certain images up, and they don't really show an awful lot, apart from the one where he showed his weather station, which I debunked him on for that. But yeah, this is just clear 100% evidence, 100% that is a flat lake, and the evidence has been up there from day one. It's on his Google Drive. I think I posted a link before. You can see this, and if he says he's anywhere other than where I say he is, I'm calling him a liar. Pier 1, absolute bullshit. There is, or whatever he's saying that he's went to. He didn't roll up to this location, take an image here, 50 images later, snap this image in the same location. You know, it's in exactly the same location, and all these images he's moved to a different location from. Utter bullshit lying, because he knows he's been found out. He knows the evidence that I've shown is 100% true. It's his own images, it's his own evidence. All we needed to do was triangulate where he was and how far the distances were that he was actually showing us. Yeah, let's see how many accounts Lottie can come up with. I think she had, or he had, probably about 100, so he said. So we shall see. And I assume Lottie's who is Lottie actually? Who would Lottie be? Charlotte? Do you think it's Charlotte? Do you think they're the same? Hi Steve. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate you saying thanks and well done. Yeah, it's appreciated. You know, I mean, I was watching Flat Earth Asshole today. In fact, it's the first time I've actually come across his channel. He was on a channel a few days ago. I think it might have been Dread's channel that he was on, and I found him quite an interesting character. I enjoyed his the way he talked. It sort of reminded me of myself in a way. So I thought I'd check his channel out, and I noticed that he'd been debunking Mick West. Well, funnily they should do that, because I've been debunking Mick West too, and did that probably 4 months ago, probably at the same time that he was very active, Mick West, and it was probably the same time that Flat Earth Asshole was doing it as well. So it was interesting that we both found debunking Mick West was quite good. So I watched a couple of his videos on that, and then I thought, actually, Sound has had a bit of an easy ride of it lately. I debunked him before, and I thought I'll just go through his images and just see if there's anything there that's sticking out, that's there. It's like he's put these images out, and it's like he's put them out there, and he's probably been laughing at him. He's probably been laughing that he's put these images up, and nobody in the Flat Earth has ever picked up on the fact of what he was actually showing. I mean, I can only assume that he put this out there. He put this image out there to troll us. It has to have been a troll image, because there's no other way. Why would he have put these images out other than to troll us? Because this is his bread and butter. This is where he's getting the claim for the curvature. This is where he's getting all the plaudits and the pat on the back, and people are sending him Patreon money and stuff like this. But then he goes and he puts this image out. I mean, I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to probably show the bridge curving or something like that. But I mean, you can see it's a flat horizon anyway, and you can see that the bridge itself, when you scroll along from the bridge, 16.6 miles away, you can see the bridge itself is completely flat, and then it starts to rise up, come down again. But it's like, why would he have put this image out there if it wasn't to troll us? He has to have done it on purpose, and he must have known what he was showing. He must have known that he was looking at this shoreline 37 miles away, and yet he's had it up there all this time, and nobody's picked up on it because everybody's been too busy arguing with themselves about this image here. They've been all bent out of shape on this, when all they needed to do was, it's like when you're doing a crime, if there was a crime and there was a murder scene or something, somebody's been killed, and you've got the murder weapon, right? And that's the only thing you've got, just the murder weapon. You don't have anything else. There's nothing else to back it up. You need to go back to the motive and everything else, and alibis and things like that. You have to put you have to get the crime nicely wrapped up. Basically, you can't just have the murder weapon. And I think in Soundly's case, this image here is his murder weapon. The problem is it doesn't stack up evidentially when you compare it to the rest of his images that he's put out there, which is namely like this image here, because he's actually filming twice as far as the length of the pylons go, twice as far, and he's actually seeing buildings on the shoreline that should be 600 feet behind the curve. Now, I've no idea how much 600 feet is. I'd be completely guessing, but if I said probably about the height of my cursor, about here, that would probably be about 600 feet, I should imagine. Blackpool Tower isn't even as high as that. And I should imagine that pylon there is probably only, 250 feet tall, perhaps. And those buildings in the background are maybe 50 or 60 feet high. Maybe that one's 70 foot. Perhaps. I don't know. I'd be guessing. Maybe not even that high, because the height of the bridge is only 15. So maybe 30 feet, maybe 40 feet. Maybe the height of the pylon's 220, 240 feet. So to get to 600 feet, we'd be up here. This is the absolute absurdity of this, is that where this cursor is here is where the expected curve should be. But it's flat as fuck. Absolutely flat as fuck. And you can see that. Go and check it. I'll put this link in the chat again, so you can all go and have a look yourself. There we go. Soundly coming on then. No, Soundly won't come on. He'll probably do a hangout later, and he'll probably say that he was at Pier 1, and what he did is he went down to the left-hand side of these pylons. He took an image from there, and then he drove 10 minutes to somewhere else, and he took an image from there, and then he drove all the way back to the pylons again, so he could take that last image of the left-hand side of the pylon. And he's talking absolute bullshit. And even if he did do that, I've already showed you the fact that the length of, look at how wide this lake is from one side to the other. It doesn't matter where you stand on this. When you're looking at the left-hand side of this bridge across here, we know we're looking across that way because that's the way he was, on this side somewhere, on this side here. So anywhere that he was looking through from this side here, dissecting the bridge, even if he went from here, from there to there, 25 miles. But he's lying anyway. Absolutely bullshitting lying, because he was in this location here. There's no way he drove all the way up there and then back here and then back there and back here again. He's full of shit. And I'll call him out on that from day one. The only problem is he didn't have GPS on his images, which is in his, it's kind of annoying that they weren't there just to finally prove that. But I'm pretty confident that that this image here was taken in between taking this image here and between taking this image here, which again is on the left-hand side of the pylon. I'm pretty sure that he was in the same location as this when he took all these images. I don't believe for 1 minute he moved. That image and that image were taken, and then these were taken in between, and there's no way he moved around, and he just turned his camera, got a nice tripod, zoomed in, taken an image, taken another image, zoomed in again, and then he's uploaded them to Trollers. He's uploaded them to Trollers because that fucking tower there, that pylon there, is 35 fucking miles away, and the buildings in behind it are 37 miles away. That link ain't working, Ranty. What do you mean the link ain't working? Try that. Let me know if that's working. Because he's either taken the images down, or he's full of it. Look at that. So yeah, so Pier 1. Oh, let's see where Pier 1. Let's see if I can try and find this Pier 1. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look down here. I mean, that maybe you could say that was a pier, perhaps there. Well, let's put a line in there, shall we? And let's dissect the bridge in the same location. Let's just say it was there. Dissect the bridge. Let's see the distance that he's traveling, shall we? So out to the shoreline, 22 miles away. Let's say it was there. Now let's see if there's a pylon in this location, shall we? I'll just save it from there. Just put it, I don't know. Okay, let's see if there's a pylon in this location, shall we? Oh, no pylon in this location. No buildings in this location. In fact, the only place we're actually getting buildings in a location, happens to be in the area where I fucking said he was. In the area where I said that the fucking line of sight dissected that bridge and where he took the other images from, because this is the only place where it's a built-up area. He wasn't taking it from here because there's no fucking buildings there. There's no fucking buildings here. There's no fucking buildings here. So the only place that there's buildings and the only place that there's a fucking tower and a pylon, which is here, and you know that fucking pylon is before the buildings, and I'll prove that now because even on this, even on here, when I zoom into this here, you can see that that pylon is before the buildings. The pylon is before the buildings. So that says that this pylon has to be in the lake somewhere or on the shoreline, and then the buildings behind it. And there we have the fucking pylon in the lake, way before the fucking the town that's behind it. And there's no other pylons in this location. Look, no other pylons across here. Let's go across. No other pylons. There's nothing else around here. There's no other pylons anywhere to be seen. Nowhere. And believe you me, I've looked. I've spent all afternoon looking at this shit. So you can say what the fuck you want, Soundly, because you're absolutely full of it. That there, which is 35 miles away, is fucking that tower there. And those buildings behind it is that town behind it, which is here. This town here. This built-up area. There's no built-up area here. So you're just absolutely full of it. We know what we're looking at. We know you took the images from this location. We know you did. We know you took the images from there. You didn't take the images from there and then move down here to Pier 1 or wherever the fuck Pier 1 is. Or maybe here. Or here. And then come all the way back again and take another fucking image of the left-hand side of the pylons. Yeah, you're just full of it. Absolutely full of it. There's no town over here. Let's say he was on Pier 1. Where's the town behind it? There's no towns here. There's no pylons here. There's nothing else in the way. The only thing that triangulates it happens to be when I put your location in from taking this image way back here, this image, when I triangulate pylon 3 and 4 and I line up those bottoms of the actual the pylons, and I'll show you that I've done that, and I'm not just lying. I'll show you that I've done that, because I don't want you to come back and say, oh, he's full of shit. Because look, 3 pylon base, I've put a marker in there. 3rd pylon base on the left hand side, so it goes through the left hand side of it, and it goes on the right hand side of the 4th pylon base here, and I've put the line of sight in there. The red line is the line of sight for that, and it puts you exactly there. Now, you've already been on my channel and you've already told me that this is where you took the images from, so don't even go there, because I can probably find it on a different video to prove it. So I know you was in that location there. You was filming it from there. $37 miles away. So what you're trying to say, it's curving this way, but it's not curving this way? Because that's the end of the pylons here where the place marks end. All those are those pylons all lined up in a nice line there, right? So you're saying that you're seeing curve when you look across the pylons here, but yeah, and so you're going like 18, 19 miles away. But when you go all the way over here to the other side of the lake and you're looking at this pylon here, 35 miles away, you're telling me that it doesn't curve that way? The lake doesn't curve, it only curves one way. Because either the lake curves or the lake's flat. It can't be flat and curved. It's either one or the other. Now, you're saying to me that you're showing curvature this way. Everybody else in the world seems to disagree with you and say that it's just an optical illusion down to refraction. And I'm saying that you've also uploaded images that show this pylon here on this image here, that image, and also this image here, that pylon. Boom, busted, caught out, absolutely caught out. 100%. There's no denying it. Absolutely no denying it. I mean, what does the chat say? One for yes, it does show flat, or 2 for a curve. Do you think I've triangulated it right? Do you think I've not tried to manipulate the evidence? I've literally gone through it as best I can to triangulate everything properly. You know, I'm not here to lie, and I'm not here to fudge the evidence. I've never done that, ever. The only thing I've tried to do is always just present a fair argument one way or the other. I've never tried to lie. But if I find bullshit, I'll call it. And I found bullshit. I'm sorry to say it, and it is bullshit. That is what he's captured. There's the hump on the bridge. There's where it goes down. And I can even go back to all the images that I took. There's a screenshot of the Google Earth. I had to put it on a Bing map because Bing actually showed the curvature. I took a screenshot of Soundly's and I superimposed it over the causeway from Bing. I triangulated the center section here with the center section there and the start of the hump to the start of the hump. And then all I needed to do then was put in the line of sight, which was from the Google Earth. There's the line of sight, which takes you directly to the pylon. And that's all assuming, by the way, assuming that Soundly took the images from the same location that he took. If he took this image here and then he took the next image here in the same location. If he did that, then that is the tower. Now, I cannot prove definitively because there's no GPS on this that this is where he took the image from. I can only assume that because on a later image, he was back in the original location. This image number was 4176. The image that I've been able to triangulate his position on was 4118, so 60 images before. So I'm assuming that these images were taken from the same location. I am pretty confident they were. I can't see any reason why they wouldn't be. That tower triangulates perfectly to the side of the bridge in exactly the location you would expect it to be. There's no other tower on Google Earth at all, anywhere in this location, in the water, before a town, bearing in mind, because if we go back to his image, and we scroll in, actually I'll go to the next one, and we scroll in, you can see that the tower is before the buildings. The building is actually behind it. So there's a town behind this pylon. There's a town behind it. And the only town in the location is this town here, along this peninsula here. And the only tower that's before or anywhere in this location is this tower here. So if he says, and he lies, and he comes out and he says he moved to a different position, call bullshit on it, because he's bullshitting. There is no other way, two ways about it. This is the only town in the location, this town here, that dissects the bridge in this location here. It's the only town in that location from his vantage point, and it's the only pylon that's in this location too. So if he says he was anywhere else, there's no other towns it could be. I mean, if he said he, let's suppose, and he says, oh, you were seeing this town here, well, that would mean he would have to have been looking at probably 45 miles away, because let's dissect that, shall we? Let's just for giggles and shit. Let's say he was at here, yeah, 40 miles, 41 miles. So he's not going to say that he was there, is he? Yeah, I'm pretty confident that he didn't move. He stayed in the same place. He filmed from the same location. He took image 4118 and then 4176. And in between, he took these images here that we're looking at now. And then, yeah, he didn't move. He was in the same fucking place. He was there. He shot across here, and he's been trolling us, absolutely trolling us. There's no way. If I was trying to forge something and fraud people, and I took an image like this, right, and I knew my location because I live in the area. So if I was on that and I'm looking at this bridge and I take an image of it and I see this tower in the background, and I don't want to produce this evidence, because if I put this up, I'm going to get ridiculed for it, because that tower should be below the, you know, the curve here, right? So I'm looking at this image here and I'd be like, I can't post that because that goes against my beliefs. If I was trying to forge it, if I was trying to be fraudly, you know, and sound, you know, soundly, I don't think he's trying to be, but I think he's trying to troll us. I think he's put this image up here knowing and testing us whether or not we would actually pick up on the fact that what we were looking at. Because you can't be that thick. You can't live in the location and film across the lake and know that that's the town over there, and that's the, you know, he has to. I mean, this image has been up for months, and we've all been consumed with trying to argue with each other. Look at this here, 4178. Hang on, that's even better, because here we go, 4176. Ha, perfect. I didn't go that far to check it. Look at this, it's fucking brilliant, right? Image 4176, left-hand side of the pylon, right? Image 4178, two images later is in the same fucking location, right? So if I go back and I go, look, you know, where's he gone now? We're on here, right? So yeah, 4155, absolutely busted. 4176, right? still left-hand side of the pylon. And then he said he was at Pier 1. Did he say he was at Pier 1? Did he come in chat and say he was at Pier 1? Because when we go to image number 4178, 4178, 2 images after this one, he's back in the same fucking location. So what has he done? Has he fucking done a dance around the fucking town and fucking gone around this lake back and forth, full of fucking shit? He was in the same fucking location. Look at this, 4178. Same fucking location. Absolutely busted. Pier 1, my fucking arse. You was there, mate. You was fucking there. Absolutely smashed. Oh, sound is in here. That hump is 8 miles, blah, blah, blah. Past the mid hump is a big tower, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, full of shit, Soundy. All you're doing is flapping your gums. Flapping your gums, mate. Because I've just found out that you was in the same fucking location because you said you was at Pier fucking 1. And that's absolute bullshit because 2 images after that image on the left-hand side of the pylon, you was in the same fucking location. Same fucking location. So don't fucking lie to me. Oh, hang on, wait a minute, Soundy. That tower is on the causeway. What about the buildings behind it, mate? Come on, what about the buildings behind it? What about the houses that you're seeing on the far shore? What about them? Fuck the tower. I'm just using the tower as a triangulating where you were. What about the fucking buildings? What about this building? Where is he? Where are we? Where are we? Here we go. What about these buildings then? If you say that tower is on the bridge, what about the buildings behind it? Or with these square cars that were going over the bridge? Are you going to say that they're cars going over the bridge and this was like a truck and there's another truck and another truck? Absolute bullshit. You're hilarious, Soundly. Absolutely hilarious. Come on then. You said, what did you say? There's a pylon on the bridge. Okay, well, I'm looking at the bridge now and I'm looking for a pylon right that should be in this location here. And I'm going to scroll in and I'm going to see if I can see any kind of pylon there. I'm struggling to find a pylon on this bridge that you say there is. Okay, so maybe you're talking about the bridge that's behind it, perhaps. Maybe you're talking about that. Oh, well, let's go over here. Oh, because guess what, Soundly? Yes, it is. There is a fucking pylon on the bridge. On this bridge here, yeah. The bridge that I fucking said. The pylon that I said. The pylon that I said's 35 fucking miles away. Yeah, buddy. Yep, you're correct, because we're saying the same fucking thing. You're saying that this pylon is on the bridge. And it is. And this pylon is 35 fucking miles away from your location. 35 miles away. Put that into your thick brain and do the calculation on it. 35 miles. I honestly feel like I'm trying to talk to a child and I'm trying to treat you like a child because that's all you are. Do you agree that that's the same pylon that we're talking about that's on the bridge that you say that it is? Come on, Soundly. You don't deserve a link, Soundly. You don't deserve a link. You're saying that that's on the bridge. That is on the bridge. That's the same fucking pylon that I've said it was. And it's 35 miles away. Now, he'll get his chance to speak on his own hangout, I'm sure, and try and come back and say that this is debunked and this is... this isn't an open and shut case. You don't deserve a voice on this channel. You don't deserve a voice on this particular hangout anyway, because you've just agreed with me that the bridge, the pylon is on the bridge. It's the same pylon that we're talking about, and it's 35 miles away. It's 35 miles away. Oh, it's hilarious. It's hilarious debunking this guy, because he first tries to tell me that he was in a different location. He was on Pier 1. Then I debunked that by proving that his series of images taken back and forth, and he had to have travelled around the fucking the lake. Then he agrees that it's on the bridge, which is the same fucking pylon that I said it was originally, and it's 35 miles away. 35. What? I wonder why he won't shoot me a link. Soundly, this pylon is 35 miles away. Do you want me to do the curvature calculator on that? Let's do the curvature calculator on this, shall we? Now that you're actually in, because I know that you'll want to see this. So actually, now that you're in chat, you can tell me your viewer height. Actually, come on, let's do the viewer height. What was your viewer height at the time? 30 feet. So let's put your 30 feet in, shall we? 30 feet viewer height, and let's do the distance to the pylon that we both agree is the same pylon. 35.1 miles. Okay, so it should be the height of Blackpool Tower beyond the curve. That's at 30 feet. Hell, I tell you what, let's put you at 60 feet, shall we? Let's say you was on top of a crane. How's that? Let's put you at 60 feet in height, shall we? In fact, no, actually, let's put you on top of the tallest building probably in the entire location. Let's put you at 100 feet in height, shall we? Well, at 35 miles, it should still be 273 feet behind the curve. Okay, let's go to your drive, your image, and we are actually seeing buildings in the background, buildings behind this tower that should be 500 feet behind the curve. Let's put you at 150 feet, shall we? Hang on, wait a minute. Let's put your elevation at 200 feet. How would that do you? Because then it should still be 150. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's put you halfway up Blackpool Tower. Let's put you up at 230 feet above, because it still should be 130 feet behind the curve with refracted hidden. But we know that you weren't 230 feet in height. We know that. Come on, if you give me an answer yet, what was your come on, where is it? Let's see. Oh no, you've not put anything. You've not told me a viewer height. Well, let's say 40 feet, shall we? Let's be kind. Let's say 40 feet. Okay, so you got 400 feet of refracted hidden there, buddy. 400 feet. Where's the 400 feet of curve? Where's the 400 feet of curve? Because it should be there. That's where 400 feet should be. Even at 16.6 miles, which this bridge is, 16.6 miles to the bridge, you can see the cars on the bridge. Cars on the bridge. You can even see a van going over the top of the bridge there. Now, we know the top of the bridge is only like 60 feet above the actual lake. And if we do 16.6 miles, 16.6, it should be 40 feet behind the curve. So you should barely see that, the top of that. And you certainly shouldn't see the bottom of the bridge. So, I mean, just everything's right about this. Everything's right about it because we do live on a flat stationary plane, and you've helped to prove it. And I'm pleased that I decided to go back to your evidence. And I'm actually thankful to Flat Earth Asshole, because he reminded me of that debunking you ballers is a great pastime and a great sport. I quite enjoyed it when I did Mick West, and I enjoyed it when I debunked you before when we caught that weather station light. But this is even better. This is even better. This is like I mean, it doesn't get much flatter than this. 37 miles away. Fucking, that's a long way, 37 miles to see the buildings. It's a long way. I don't know how you're going to get out of this one. I don't know how you're going to turn this around. What are you going to say now? Are you going to say that it only curves around the pylons? Fake calculations. Yeah. He's a mainstream cook, all right. Damn right he is. Just go to it. Just go have a look at this image here. It's up on his Google Drive. Download it before he takes it down, because he's probably going to take it down because it's very negative to his cause, and he's actually got a P900 off Wolfie for exposing the apparent curvature on this lake. Of course, he's not going to want any negative images to be on his account for much longer, I shouldn't imagine. So I would definitely go and try and download this image if you can. I'll put this link in here for this image. Put it into the chat now. So there's that image, and I will send you the link for the next one. So I'll put those two images out. You can download them, keep them. I've already downloaded and kept them myself, so we have them there now as proof and evidence. I think I've successfully gone through my own reasons as to why these set of images were taken from the same location, because image 4178 and two images before, left hand side of the pylon, and then images before that, 4155 again, showing the same location. He was in the same location. When he says he was in Pier 1, he's full of shit. Oh, absolutely full of it. And I tell you what, if Globebusters wants to do a piece on this, they're quite welcome to take the evidence that I put out there and use it themselves, and perhaps display it themselves on this Friday's show. In fact, any flat earther is welcome to do this, because now that it's out there, this should hopefully lay to rest any further debate as to whether or not this lake actually curves or not. And clearly it doesn't curve. So yeah, so apparently he had, well, yeah, that's true. Apparently he came and he said he had 15 minutes and then he wants to jump on the hangout. And did he say he was going to do his own hangout or something? I'm not too sure. I missed part of that. Let's see, what did he sound like? What's he put here? I'll be starting a quick hangout over lunch if anyone wants to join. See you guys there. Yeah, okay. Quick hangout to do what? To explain what? Look, I've tried and get you came on, right? This is no word of a lie, and you guys can back me up on this. He said that this pylon was on the bridge, right? He said it in chat, and let me find it. Let me get it in chat so that I've got the proof and evidence of this. Because I'm pretty sure this is what he said. Let me just find it. Still waiting for the link. Shoot me a link. Soundly. That tower is on the causeway. There we go. That tower is on the causeway. Soundly. Right. So, as we can see, this tower is on a causeway. This tower is on a causeway. Right. This causeway here, you can't be talking about this causeway because there's no tower on this causeway here. And also we know that that's the start of the hump and the lower part of the hump, and just everything about the image lines up perfectly for, even with his own words, him saying that this tower is on the causeway, which is there, right? Which is 35 miles. So if we'd put a direct line between there dissecting this causeway, we know is the left-hand side of the hump, and it takes him to here. That's 35 miles away. So I don't know what he can actually do a hangout about. What can he actually say? What's he going to say? Because it's 35 miles. Whichever way he looks at it, he's seeing 35 miles. He's admitted it here and now. That tower is on the causeway. And I'm still waiting for evidence that he says that this lake bends and it's curvy water and bendy water, because what does it only bend in certain places? You know, this is no speculation. This is like literally just getting his image, this one, taking this image, triangulating his location, identifying these objects in the background. That's all it is. There's no malice in this. There's no really be any argument, because an image is just an image, and it's not my image, it's his image that he's put up, and he's displayed it for everybody to see and for everybody to comment on. So all I've done is literally triangulate his position in relation to the bridge and the causeway and where we know he was actually filming on that day, identify what this tower is here, and then just say, okay, well, you filmed this tower here, and this tower is 35 miles away. That's it. You know, it's an open and shut case. I mean, I don't, you know, people get mad and angry at me, but why shoot the messenger? You know, this is the image that he's put out. There's no denying that this is his image. He's got a series of images as well. It's not just that one. It's like this one here again. You know, 4178 that I've not even really looked at. Can I look at 4178 if you want? Let's have a scroll in and see what's what. Yeah, it's exactly the same. There's the second hump, as I told you. There's the second hump on the bridge. There's the first hump on the bridge. So we know that we're on the first hump of the bridge here. Second hump is there. In actual fact, I am pretty sure you can see shoreline over there or something. In any event, you've got a hump here. You've got the hump there on the bridge. So we know that we're on the left-hand side of the causeway. We know that it's just after the hump. We know that that tower is the only tower that's in that location. And that tower must be 35 miles away, because that's just what it is. It is 35 miles away. He's on his channel now explaining it. I'm sure he is. Well, you know what? He said he's only got 15 minutes. So when I finish this hangout, I'll go along and have a listen to that and laugh my socks off at it, because it's just a case of that's what it will be. It will be hilarious. There is no denying. There is no denying it. I mean, these series of images. In fact, I'm going to put that image up here, this one as well, because this one helps to just, without a shadow of a doubt. Let me put this in there. Right, so download that image as well if you like, guys, because this image here helps to absolutely put beyond doubt exactly his location, because it's between the two humps on the causeway. So there's no getting away from this. He's on the same day that he took the images, he apparently saw curvature on this image here, and this is the image that everyone's been screaming about and getting all bent out of shape over, and saying that this is the curve of the earth. And yet, realistically, we only had to go a couple of images further on just to check it out and see, okay, right, well, let's just see what other images has he put up that could help identify what's going on in this you know, it's like a crime scene, you know, put all the evidence together and build a case, you know. And the case doesn't stack up in this respect, because we've got the hump of the bridge here, the hump of the bridge there, and the tower is here 35 miles away, which is agreed that it's on the causeway. This tower is on the causeway. He said it in his own words. He's literally shot himself in the foot. It's hilarious. He's been busted, and you know, it's not nice saying he's been busted, because he does go out and he does do evidence like I do. So I'd hate people coming at me and saying my evidence is fraudulent and my evidence is this, that, and the other, because I don't go out of my way to try and fraud anything. I try to just show you what I filmed and tell you where I was. And you know, it was a stiff introduction when I started this flat Earth thing, because everyone's saying, what was your view height and what was the height of the temperature and all, you know, the temperature and all this. It was ridiculous. But I've started to learn that you need to put together a good argument and a good case and plenty of evidence to back up your assertions. Now, Soundly has got his evidence. He's put it out there, and I think he's been trolling us. He has to have been trolling us. There's no other two ways about it. He cannot have put these images up and not known what he was. He even said, as soon as I said to him, oh, he said it's on the causeway, yeah? He said it was on the causeway. Do you remember him saying that? I've showed it to you before. He said it was on the causeway. So he knew damn well that this tower here on the causeway was what we were seeing. He knew this. And when he put this image up, and it's been up there for months, right? Now, we know that. We know his image has been up there for months. So he must have known all this time, that this tower here was visible on his images. And he must have been pissing his sides, laughing at our incompetence, because we have been incompetent about this, to be fair. We've let him get away, and we've got hung up on this image here when he was taken from this location here, and he was looking across all these place marks, which are the individual pylons. We were getting all bent out of shape about, say, seeing curve from here. And he must have been absolutely pissing his sides, laughing, knowing that this tower here and these buildings behind were all visible 37 miles away. And we're all arguing over this. We're arguing over this. And we only had to look a bit further on at his other pictures and see that we were seeing all this flat here. So what, is it just curved here? Just curved in this localized area? I mean, come on. He knew exactly what he knew. As soon as he came on, he knew exactly where that fucking pylon was. He knew exactly where it was. So he knew damn well all along. He must have been waiting for months for someone to pick out this and come at him and say, this here is this pylon. And he's known that all this time. And he's just been waiting for someone to pick up on it, because he knew straight away he had an answer for it. Well, I don't know what his answer is, but he knew straight away that that's what he was viewing, because he said it was on the causeway. And it triangulates to this location here. So he's had this up there all this time. These images have been up there all this time. And we've just skipped on by them. We've not really paid any attention to these, because we've all been hung up on these other images, these absolute refraction. And whatever's going on with these pylons, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's something, I've said it before and I'll say it again, maybe it's something to do with the fact that it's transmitting electricity, and there's the electricity over the water. A lot of people say things like that doesn't happen, but there's got to be something, because you can't say that it's not affecting it in some way, because look how look how it curves here, and yet when you look at this other image, which is twice as far away, it doesn't, because you're not looking at any pylons next to each other. You know, there's nothing going on there. It's literally just a straight shot straight across this water. In any event, we got hung up on the wrong images. We should have simply, if we'd have just gone to this image originally and just said, well, what about this? There'd be no argument. All this months and months of debate and people trying to debunk him and say this, that, and the other, and video upon video of Soundly's this and Soundly's that, and Baller's putting it out there that Soundly's the messiah and all this. Yeah, all we had to do was come here. That's all we had to do, just come here. And he knew that was the tower that we were talking about because he said it. 35 miles away, that tower. 35 miles. Should be 500 odd feet behind the curve. So what's going on with that? Why isn't it 500 odd feet behind the curve, Soundly? Superior mirage. Who said that? Who said that? Hang on, wait a minute. Whoa, hang on. Multi-tom-tom. Did he say superior mirage? Did he say that? Because he filmed this on the same day as this image, right? Because if he's going to say that this is a superior mirage, right? Bearing in mind that this image, 4118, right, was taken on the same day in the same location, right? This image, 4143, so 22 images later or something, this image was taken. So this image has a superior mirage on it, and this image is real. This image is real. Because if he did say that it was a superior mirage, I mean, I don't know, I've not looked at his channel yet, but if he's saying that that's a superior mirage, are you kidding me? And yet, so only superior mirages on that one, and this one, and this one. Is all this is superior mirage. This isn't superior mirage, but this next one, that's a superior mirage too. That's a superior mirage. So we've got all this superior miraging going on, right? And yet, oh, here we go, 4195. So I'm assuming it's the same day. I mean, you can see that the light has dimmed slightly. You know, it's got darker. You know, so I'm assuming that he did all this on the same day because 4195, 4183, 4183, 4178. So if you're looking at the clouds in the background and then it's blue skies above it, 4178, and then we go on a little bit further. Looks like the same set of clouds to me. You know, the same design on them. If clouds have got a design, I know it seems like a far stretch, but you can see what I mean. It's got like a layer, another layer, and a layer, and then we go back to this one. It's got a layer and a layer and a layer. So I'm going to say he did this on the same day. So is he saying that this is a superior mirage too? Because you can't have a superior mirage there and not have a superior mirage there, and not have superior mirage and superior whatever. Yeah, I'm just waffling now, but whatever. Yeah. So so what is he lying? Was it superior mirage? Was it not superior mirage? In any event, Soundly was here. He did come in, but I didn't want him to appear on my channel, to be fair, because all he would have done is spout lies. He admitted in the chat that this image here, this tower here, was on the causeway. He lied and tried to say that he was at Pier 1. Okay, I'm not quite convinced about that because I was saying that he was in the same location. He said he was at Pier 1, so he was in a different location. But then he also admitted that this tower here was on the causeway. So we know that that's the tower that I've identified anyway, which is this tower, which is on this causeway here. I assume that's the same one he was talking about, which triangulates to him being in the same location that he took the other images. And yeah, that tower's 35 miles away. Now, I don't know how long it would take to walk 35 miles or how long it would take to drive 35 miles. It would probably take a good... How long would it take to drive 35 miles? On a motorway, 60 miles an hour, 35 minutes. So imagine that. Imagine getting in your car, driving at 60 miles an hour on the motorway, and you're driving for 35 minutes. You're driving for 35 minutes at 60 miles an hour on the motorway. And that's how far Soundly has shown this pylon to be. And the buildings that are behind it are 37 miles away. So imagine being on the motorway, driving at 60 miles an hour for 37 minutes, and then being able to stop the car, look back, and see your house, because that's what you're actually looking at. You're seeing a building there, you're seeing the building there, you're seeing the building there, and you're seeing this pylon here. So imagine being on the motorway, 60 miles an hour, driving for 37 minutes, stopping the car, turning around, and looking back at your house, because that's essentially what he's done. That's essentially what he's done. You know, because people just throw out numbers, and I think sometimes it gets a bit, it's not personal enough. You know, it's not personal enough. When someone says 20 miles or 25 miles or 30 miles, I think it just goes in one ear and out the other, and people don't actually put that into a scenario in their own life as to how far you're actually looking. But when you actually think about getting in a car and driving at 60 miles an hour for 37 minutes, and then stopping the car and looking back and seeing your house, that's how flat you're actually seeing. That's how flat you're seeing. So, you know, when you personalize it a bit like that, you know, I think it helps to put things into perspective, just how far we're actually seeing. Flat Earth after party, yeah. Basically, I know you say you've missed most of this. That's great. Actually, I'm gonna mod you. I'll basically run through it yet again. I know it's probably boring a lot of people now, which is fair enough, but I want this to be out there. Basically, on Soundly's Google Drive, he had this image that he put up a few months back. It was literally on the same day that he took this infamous image here that everyone's been going on about. I triangulated his location because he was in the same spot when he took that image, the infamous one, and this image here, and then these images here. I mean, everything basically he took from the same location on this day. All these images, 4155, this image here was taken on the same day, at same location, same day. And this tower here, Soundly happened to just pop in just a minute ago and say that this tower was on the causeway, which is what I'd been saying anyway. Except the causeway that he's talking about is this causeway here. I triangulated it perfectly. I'll just go to the last image on here, which is this one. It all triangulates perfectly. I know it looks a bit ambiguous right now, but that's the center of the hump on the causeway. That's the direct line of sight to the actual tower. So I mean, everything triangulates perfectly for it. There's no doubting that this is the tower that he's talking about, and this tower is 35 miles away. And the buildings that are behind it are on the shoreline, and the buildings that are behind it are on the shoreline are 37 miles away. So when we look at this image here and we scroll, you know, I've scrolled in as far as I can actually, but this tower, which is 35 miles away, and you can see there's a building behind it, and you can see it's behind it because the tower's in front of it. So that building, which I've identified as this building here, this one, is 37 miles away. So we're seeing a building from 37 miles away. I'll send you the link. Actually, I'll put the link in the chat so you can have a quick look. There you go. And so that's hopefully you caught up to date with everything. You'll see what's going on. I know the title of this is Soundly Lake Pontchartrain Proves Flat Earth and the Globe is Busted. I think that's probably a very accurate assumption, because we are looking at a distance of 35 miles to here, 35 miles to here. And if we're seeing, and people will say, well, how much of the tower are you actually seeing? How much of this pylon are we actually seeing? Well, I guess if we use the light of the sun to add up the amount of bars that are crisscrossing across, this is going to be difficult. This is actually a new one for me. I've not actually even thought about doing this before, and it's hard to know whether we're getting two reflections on each height, possibly. I mean, that could be, those two reflections there could be one on the left hand side and one on the right hand side. They probably are actually. So I'm probably going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 7. It's probably got 7 struts high on it. So let's look at Soundly's image, and let's see what we can see. It's hard to tell, isn't it? Really, it really is difficult to see. It's not that clear. However, it could easily be 7 or 14, whichever. I'm going to say that if we're seeing the buildings, that this building which is behind this tower, this building can only be probably maybe 30 or 40 feet in height. Probably less than that, because we've got what appears to be some apartments here, another building here. But that building is clearly behind the tower, clearly behind it. So nobody can say that this is a tanker truck that's traveling across the bridge, because you can see that this building is behind this tower. So if that puts that building behind this tower, that puts you onto here. So this location here, and it has to be that building there, I would assume. I don't know if there's anything further than that, maybe, probably not. I'm going to say it's this building here. In any event, that's 37 miles away. So 30 feet at 37 miles away, are you kidding me? Are you saying that's curvature, or is it flat? Is that curvature or flat? That building 37 miles away, is it curvature or flat? Because it's behind that tower. So what is it? Is that curve or flat? So guys, I hope that I've gone through. I know I've gone through it quite a lot. I really do. I know I've gone just. I think I've beat it to death, to be fair. But I just I know that it's what I'm seeing, and I know that it's the evidence and the truth. And I've given you the links to download these things yourself. And if you get the chance and you want to do a video yourself and put this evidence out there, I thoroughly encourage you to do that. I also thoroughly encourage you to promote this evidence whenever you get the opportunity. Whenever a baller comes up to you and says, Soundly has found curved earth and the ball, right? I would love you to be able to use this evidence, maybe not just my video, but just the evidence that you have yourself. So save the images, and then you can link these images in chats. Whenever you go into a chat and somebody mentions Soundly and says that Soundly has proven the ball, you can immediately link this image here from Lake Pontchartrain from Soundly. You can link this image here, copy it again. I'm going to put it in the chat again. Right, please download it, save it, and then throw this out there. Throw it out there. As soon as anybody says Soundly's showing the ball, throw this image out there and say Soundly's showing the flat as fuck. And then if you want to get really technical about it, you can go into detail about where he took the images from, which is just to the side of the pylons, and how far away it was, which was 35 miles away. So you can do all that. And I think that's busted him completely. You know, hi Rory. Oh God, No, no, don't, no. No, 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 unblock. No, you're not, no, no, don't block Rory. I think it's, let me just check it's the right Rory first. Oh, right, it's fake. It's a fake one. Right, okay. Ban his ass. Ban his ass. Get him banned. Yeah, he's done. Right, he's gone anyway. Hey? Yeah, boom. Yeah, it's not him. Right. Good, 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 good. Right. So he's gone. Yeah. So yeah, guys. Yeah, save the image. Please refer back to it. There's a series of images up there on his Google Drive, so you can go to his Google Drive and you can check all his images, download them as you need to. Save his links, direct links to the Google Drive. So if anybody says sound is showing the curve, you can instantly send them the link that shows that it's showing the flat. And you know, he's debunked himself, really. He's debunked himself, and he's actually proved the flat Earth. So we all knew from day one that those images were suspect. I mean, I know that there's been a lot of debate as to whether it was CGI or whether it was this, that, and the other, and all this kind of stuff. Ultimately, we never needed to go down that route. We should have just gone straight to his other images. I think he's put them out there to basically troll us, because there's no way that he knows that he's seeing a tower from 35 miles away and has still had that image up there and still kept it from day one and known that it's been up there. He knew it was up there. He damn well knew it was there and what it was and what bridge it was on, and it was 35 miles away, and he knew this, and yet he kept it up there to troll us. And maybe he shared this information with the other ballers. We don't know, because probably all talk about it behind our backs. But simple fact is that it just took somebody just to do a little bit more investigating, digging a bit deeper, seeing what else he's putting out there. And he has to be a troll. I mean, do you remember his avatar? It used to be flat Earth shill, was it NASA shill, something like that? Yeah, he had it up there, NASA shill, and yeah, he absolutely is a shill. I mean, if you're trying to say that the Earth is a ball, you don't leave that image or those series of images up there showing that it's a flat Earth. You just don't do it. You're either extremely retarded or you're trying to troll us. So maybe it was always meant to be found. Maybe this evidence was always meant to be out there, and always meant to be at some point found. And it has been found. It's been out there. Save it, upload it, get people talking about it, and get him debunked. Get him thoroughly debunked. Send a message to Globebusters. Send a message to Dreads. Send a message to Jeranism. You know, if you get the chance, go on the channels. Send them the information. Get a chance to talk about it. Mark Sargent again. You know, if he wants to do something about it too. Just the more people that go out there, the sooner we put this to bed, the sooner we debunk this bullshit. Because it has been contentious. It's been bringing down the level of evidence that we need to be doing, and it's been hampering our cause. And he's been the architect of that, and now we need to bring him down to size. And this is the evidence that's going to do it. So, yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to go to my other channel, it's just called Ranty, with an exclamation mark at the end of it. This is my channel that I have to do a live stream on, simply because I got in trouble with the YouTube police over a video that I did about another flat earther. It didn't go down particularly well, so this is why I have to live stream on this channel just for the time being. In any event, that's me. I've done my best. All I have done, bearing in mind, is get Soundly's images, triangulate his position, and show you what he was actually taking an image of at that time. That's it. I honestly didn't do anything, so it's not my work, it's his work. All I've done is triangulate the position and showed you that this is what he was showing you. 35 miles of flat earth, 37 miles of buildings. That's it. That's all I've done. So you can hate me, you can love me, you can do whatever the fuck you want, because I just don't care. All I'm on this journey is for myself. I'll produce the evidence when I see it. I'll give you the evidence when I can. I'll call out the bullshit when I can. And this is just one of those times that I'm just showing you somebody else's evidence and showing you that they have actually showed a flat earth and not a ball earth. So that's me. I'm out. I'm going to go to probably somebody else's hangout and have a listen there somewhere. Give me a name, somebody. Is Jamie doing one? Is Sun and Moon Group doing one? Give me a link to go to and I'll go to there. Give me a link to go to and I'll go to there, and I'll shut this this hangout down now. And thank you everyone for coming. I do appreciate it. 23 watching, it's more than I expected to turn up. I'm very grateful for everyone that showed up today. I'm glad that you've listened to what I've had to say. And yeah, I love you guys. Just keep spreading the truth. If you get the chance to do some videos of your own, do it. The movement's going fast. It's getting, I mean, there was a video out. Mark Sargent did one. He was videoing, no, he took a telephone call from a pilot, a lady pilot from the Netherlands. And she was talking about the flat earth with him and how she'd been grounded over it. It was fantastic. It was fantastic to listen to. And it's nice that people are starting to talk about it and people are starting to speak out. So let's make sure that we keep up the pressure, keep it going, guys. And I'll hopefully see you soon. And that's me. I'm done. And I'll see you the next time that I find some more shit out.